What's going on, everyone? Episode number 55 of Motorsports Action coming at you. Back in the studio after a great week at Farm Progress Show. We will get into that and a lot of other things on the docket for discussion tonight. Pro Pulling League was in Nashville, Illinois. NTPA finished up their regular season on the Grand National side in Sandwich, Illinois. The fields have been set for the Interleague pull-off with the draw still to come on Friday. PDRA, Bristol, and Galat races are starting, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. One of the two. NHRA, Leah Pruitt is making her return next year for Tony Stewart Nitro. IHRA has got a lot of questions surrounding them. We will talk about weeklands and a variety of other topics. Has Virginia Motorsports Park been sold? Yellow Bullet Nationals, and many other things. Joined as always by Wyatt Schulte. Wyatt, bud, your season of running is almost over. You guys are going to the Interleague next week. First of all, congratulations on even making it to the Interleague. That's a huge accomplishment by itself. And just you go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, season's been, I will say, from my standpoint, a roller coaster all in one. Did I expect to make the Interleague at the start of the year? No, I don't think anybody really expects to make it. It's always a goal. And this year with Interleague being a points battle, you want to make it because you know if you're in that hunt, you know you have a shot to win the title. Didn't quite work out that way for us, but we're in the runner-up position right now, and hopefully you could stay that. We're the only position to actually be able to change at the Interleague pending results. So, yeah, it's been a lot of miles traveled this summer, man. I'm getting worn out, but I know after this week, after we start not having pulls for a while, I'm going to start missing it again. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt and got to enjoy what we can because, you know, we may not be pulling for another 8 months. So,
yeah, I know. And here's the crazy thing about it. Y'all might not be pulling, but pulling's still going to be definitely going on well into the fall and almost straight into the winter time. You know, December is really the only month that truck and tractor pulling has off anymore, it seems like.
Yeah. We talked about pulling all year round. It seems like the Christmas month of December is the only one because, you know, it's the holiday season. It's right after Thanksgiving. You're hitting banquet season. PRI is happening. So usually that's when everything kind of shuts off for a little bit.
Yeah.
No matter what motorsport it really is. And then once the new year hits, it is full bore action again. So, we'll see. Well, it was definitely a good goal to have this year for us, at least to make it to the Interleague. We got there and we headed to Urbana sometime later this week. So,
yeah, because you guys have got to be there on Friday because they're having the draw for the hook positions on Friday night, aren't they? I think they're having the big dinner and the entertainment and the draw for everybody.
Yeah, they should have that all in one little party section that night, which is what usually happens. So regional lineups are set. Those hook orders have already been drawn because it's just one singular winner. But for Grand National, that has to be chosen yet. So
yeah, absolutely. But we were in Sandwich, Illinois this weekend. Of course, they had their typical 3 sessions of action. Starting on Thursday with all what we call the truck session, and then all of us on Friday with the Pro Stock, Super Farm, Super Stock Diesels, and the mods. Where do we want to start with that? Because we had so much going on between the 2 sessions. As Charles Poach put it in the opening ceremonies for the show, it is the hardest day in pulling, and he's absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, that's not a joke in the slightest. If anybody has ever been to Sandwich, you know it's not really a day of. I wouldn't say there's not a lot of relaxing, but there's always something to do. In years past, in the Pro Stock Championships going on, we've seen Connie's change motors. We've seen modify guys swap stuff out and through a hunt for a title. It's not uncommon to go wrench on stuff because it's, like I say, it's the hardest day in pulling. You never see the same classes run twice in one day for points
Anywhere else.
and championship implications.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's definitely one of the hardest stages to pull, and we've seen that, especially after the afternoon session with the modified class. It was definitely one for the wrenching works.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we saw a lot of guys go right to work, especially I think in what modified was where we had the most carnage in the first session.
Yeah, that was not even a joke. That's by far the most carnage I've seen in a while in that class.
Yeah,
Rods coming out of
we had to stop the whole show at one point, I think. Kind of regroup.
yeah, kind of regroup after the Christensen incident.
By the
Which
way, we are so glad that they are okay.
yeah, and I don't think, and if anybody's ever dealt with an alcohol or methanol fire, in broad daylight is not visible to the human eye,
Correct.
unless it's mixed with something else where you could see it. And if you caught it on the stream or if you were there in person, you could tell that Tegan got caught with it. He was trying to run up and he didn't quite catch it in time, and he caught the whole entire left side of his body. Good thing he wasn't actually engulfed in any sort. It just scared him, and he got hot a little bit there. But yeah, it takes a while. You can't see it. You can't just use a fire extinguisher because it's sometimes fire retardant. So
Yeah, exactly.
or I should say fire resistant in a sense. So yeah, it was a scary incident in itself, and one we don't usually see all too often. The last time
No, we really don't.
the last time we were actually really seen something like a fuel tank explosion happen was Chuck Knapp in Rockwell a couple years ago, or like Adam Bauer had it on the cross thread a couple years ago in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And it's just a freak accident, really. Where Christensen's had rods.
Corporal had to scratch, come back. Christensen threw the rods out.
Christensen threw the rods out, which threw rods through the fuel tank or engulfed it. And
Brandon broke. What did he break in the mod? Was it the drive line itself, or did he get the whole rear end?
I believe it was something in the planetary that let loose there on Saturday night session. So
yeah, man, he was on a heck of a pass too, and it came down hard. Whenever it came down, my goodness.
Oh yeah, Saturday night was, again, if it wasn't rough on you the first session, it's rough on you the second session.
Yeah.
We've seen that with a lot of guys. The Remedy Diesel Superstock, unfortunately, had something within the drive line happen.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, even Steve Burge too. The first session had a new set of parks on, and something within the couplers that hold between the transmission and the rear housing let loose. So it is no joke. The most carnage-filled single day of polling that you'll see anywhere in the country.
Yeah, it was, but it was still a great show. We had a great time there. Warren Ziders had a concert on Friday night, and a couple of us went out there, and it was a great time overall. My first time I've ever gotten to pull in Sandwich and have a little bit of data to know what to do if we go back next year. So, but we've still got a lot of pulling to get to because Pro Pulling League presented by Hot Shot Secrets was in Nashville, Illinois for one of their final events of the year. And I say there were some champions crowned, but there were some more interesting things that actually went on within Nashville, Illinois themselves. Wasn't the emphasis on the points races.
Yeah. You're referring to light limiteds, aren't you?
Light limiteds and the 5-0 turnout, because that was more 5-0s than we've seen turnout anywhere all year long.
Yeah,
I know we're in Illinois and that's part of it, but still, that's the turnout that they had was great.
But I think it also has something to do with Region 2 doesn't have anything that we can really Holzhauer. Right. Usually you can bet on Brad Holzhauer throwing a little bit of extra change in there for people to run for that weekend in Nashville. Draw a few extra hooks and other pullers come in. So yeah, it was overall, besides probably one or two classes, it was a really good turnout. Two-wheel drives are always big. Minis are always usually pretty big.
Yeah, congratulations to the Carinders on winning on Friday night. They were out. I think they won by sub 9 feet or something like that.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's their first Pro Pulling League win ever.
Yeah, it was. And then Adam Kester ended up second. Todd Boltman, stress relief out of Michigan, ended up third. How
Hmm.
about that?
Yeah. It was, and that track can be a little tricky, but it seemed to be pretty good for most classes down there. I mean, the competition was great throughout all classes. So
Yeah, it
um,
was. The Red Express on Friday night winning the 4-1s. We're not really surprised by that, I don't think, at this point.
no, if anybody knows Ray Jordan here or Alex Hazard, that tractor is top contender.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't sweep Rockwell for nothing. So
yeah. I really hope he gets the nod to go to the farm show this year. But apparently we had a super farm driver jump into the 4-1 class on Adrian Cox's Hickory Hooker on Friday night. Josh Miley got second. And as far as I know, that's the first time he's ever driven that one.
that had to be something within the means of Adrian can't make it. He's trying to stay within the points title, and Josh taking a rip on it. So
Yeah.
there's the because it was between Adrian and Junior John Meyer Jr. to seal up the Silver Series points title.
Yeah. Exactly. He did do that for a fact. His first time running it, as far as I know, right?
Yeah, I believe it's their first time running there because I know
Yeah.
Josh Dutton did it last year from the Badger State, and unless they ran it last year, I'm not for certain that they did
No,
did
I
last
think
year.
they started it, they fell out, and then Dutton just finished it off, I think's what ended up happening.
Yeah, but yeah, it was
But no.
um, cool to see Junior get the title there. That's actually his second title for them in 2 years with two different tractors.
Yeah.
With Lane and Cole winning Hot Farm and Badger State, and then John taking Silver Series 4-1s.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. Hometown guy Brad Hockstedt finished up fourth on Friday night. But then I want to go to Bell, Missouri. Justin Smith and Moody. You have got to give the tip of the cap to these guys. Their first year in the 4-1s, they ran the Silver Series all year long. They hung right in there with them in places that they have never been in a brand new class on a brand new tractor. I'm really happy for them, and I really think that we're going to see great things out of that machine in the years to come.
I would not be surprised if we see that vehicle and farm show this year.
I wouldn't either.
Smiths are used in any other class they've been in, whether it's Excalibur, Missouri State, or whatever it was. They've usually been pretty tough,
Yeah.
and
They do
they
have
got
a
a good
light limited chassis for sale, by the way.
right. Yep, the bad news tractors for sale, but that piece that they got is a good piece. It used to be old
Yes, it
Bagman
is.
change of pace, and they just kept it going this year, and it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, they're going to be ones I expect to see. Let's talk about the 50 Pros, though, man. We had 13 of them come out on Friday, and I think we narrowed it down to 11 or 12 on Saturday because of breakage. Man, the Tennessee boys getting it done again. We've always talked so much about how High Cotton out of the couch camp has been the dominant tractor for them over the last couple of years. But Friday night, Cotton Picking Deer returned to the top over Brennan Begman with Chains of Pace HD, and they were not separated by very much. Couch went 3:30.96. Uh, Bregman went 3:30.07.
Very tight.
Yeah, it
So
was. And then, of course, you had the showstopper thrown in there. You had King Couch, Shalperts went, Parker's went, Hockstead debuted, Twister, named from being in Miley's shop, living through the tornado to tell the story. And then there was a couple of other ones that showed up on Saturday. It was kind of odd though for some of these classes because it was like they watched what was going to happen with the rules and how the rules were all going to play out, and then all of a sudden it all worked out and everybody went on Saturday. It seemed like it was really odd.
yeah, it was kind of weird that way. I mean, and that's where we've seen the light limiteds playing the whole thing where it's rule set differences
Yes,
getting to play all in the one little area.
but it was fine. It worked. That was the thing
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to emphasize the most is I don't know how they adjusted weight maybe or if they just ran them straight up what they're used to, but Wyatt Craig Hull of Iowa, you know that one? It's a 656.
Craig Hall, that is the old Alan Moore and Moore Family Malfunction Junction from around Marengo, Iowa, down Blairstown.
So is he a
Craig
Healy
lives.
machine?
That would be that'd be more or less Darren Heineck dyno
Would it
machine.
really?
Yeah, so Craig's in that Oskaloosa area. Very tough. I mean, that tractor's always been very tough on ECI circuit. And whenever Craig purchased it, he started expanding and going to different places. Missouri State Fairs, where he's seen him expand to. Obviously Nashville and in other places, but it's just like Darren. It runs in that low torque band. You think it's going to pull down and die, but it's just going to keep on rolling.
Yeah, exactly. But the mixture of what was at the top was really exciting to see. You know, we had Craig Hull went on Saturday. We had Tim Pysick with Brute Force out of Wisconsin. They went. Then David Zins in the Z Ride. Then we went to Wyatt Robinson with Shake and Bake, and then Ryan Lynn with Notorious to finish out your top five. And then right there in 6th and 7th were Cole Robinson and Brent Schubert. It was really cool to see that many.
Yeah.
But
I
they
know
were
when we were
mixed. That has been the thing that everybody has talked about for so long, is that the rules make a difference. I don't know what they did different for this pool in particular. They took the points out of it, and I think they ran them straight up. It just proves they can run together.
Yeah, I think so too. I know when we were in Original Wisconsin for the finale, Region 3 and WTPA, there was a discussion about more or less they weren't really worried about the rules package differences. They were more or less concerned about how they were going to be able to adapt to a track they've never been on. And by the results, I don't think they adapted too bad.
No, they did not. I mean, Eckel went, Skylar Moore, or not Skylar Moore, Skylar Smith with Bad News was there. Chris Moore had went, Ben Coulter out of Illinois there, Morris Beatty out of Iowa with Florida Disaster, Jamie Barger was there, Greg Braun, Josie Otto. I mean, the top of the top were there.
Yeah. And it was just interesting the mixture of different power plant combinations. I mean, you had either from Cummins alcohol to Fords to Internationals to Deeres to AC motors to
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
the mixture of in the parity that's there shows that the rule sets are not that far off.
No,
Just
yeah. This is going to
so,
make for a real interesting winter, I think. Now that we've done this, does someone like the Lens go to or not Cloverdale Midwest Winter Nationals? Do we
it'd be
see
interesting to
that? Do
see.
we see Eckel return to the indoor scene where he was so successful?
It's hard to say. I mean,
I would like to see it.
we'll have to see. I mean, we've got a couple months to go, and obviously, seeing guys mix it up and this is when it's really cool to see is when point seasons are over. You want to get out that couple extra times to see what you got against guys you never ran before, and that's where events like this come into play. You screw the rules, put them all the same weight or whatever it was, and roll.
Yeah, exactly. And then we gotta give a shout out to on the mini rod side of things, the Nelson family with the half past midnight. Tanner Nelson driving the brand new machine this year to the title, the half past midnight, his first rookie season.
Well, the machine isn't brand new by any means, but Tanner coming out and just storming the whole entire rest of the class and just showing, hey, I've paid attention for a lot of years, and come after me. So
yeah, great big shout out to the entire Nelson team for that one. It was kind of interesting though because Category 1, driven by Jeremy, took the win on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously Jeremy's had a few more passes in the mini than Tanner has, with years prior running the Wild One mini rod. But it just goes to show that if you pay attention and you do your notes correctly, like Tanner has, you can be tough.
Yeah, and then Todd Boltman came in there with another third place finish on Saturday. I had to make sure I was on the right page. Finishing third 2 nights in a row like that. It's great for them. Little Hurricane finished up 7th, walked the line 6th. Logan Stevens got 5th, and Adam got 4th. Man, it was a great mixture. Looks like they hooked up pretty well compared to last year. I think they threw them on the track next to the other one this time.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
And then
Yeah,
it was kind of a family affair in the top 5 of the two-wheel drives, though, on Saturday. Bethany Nelson and Jared Nelson went 1, 2, Wayne and Terry Timmerman went 3 and 4, and then Nelson went 5 and 6.
when you have the mixture of those two last names in the top two-wheel drive, it's not sometimes it's not surprising.
No, it's
Um,
not.
Nelson's obviously with their fleet of trucks, they're pretty dang dominant on the PPL series, and consistent is more or less the word to use there. But Timmermans, it doesn't matter where they go. If it's Outlaw, NTPA, Badger State, it doesn't matter. Wayne and Terry and the boys are just tough.
Yeah, obviously going into this weekend, guys, they've got Lanesville, Indiana going on. And then the NTPA has their interleague pull-off, as we mentioned earlier. But let's kind of switch gears. We're almost halfway through the show. I say we switch into the racing side of things, where PDRA is heading into Galat Motorsports Park, but they're finishing up the Bristol race and then going to do the Galat. What is the name of that one? Something Nationals. It always slips my mind every fall, but they will be there for that this weekend, and it's going to be very interesting. I was listening to Tyler and the crew make their predictions and talk about the points races before we came on. Going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, obviously PDRA is a very well renowned drag race association. If you haven't, like we said before, if you haven't paid attention to PDRA for at least pro mod racing, you're missing out. Some of the
They call it Pro
tough
Boost for those that are on the outside looking in. It's Pro Boost.
Pro Boost for your blower, supercharged combinations, and then you have Pro Nitrous for your nitrous combinations.
Yeah.
But if you haven't paid attention to it, you need to start to do it, because it is some of the closest, toughest competition there is out there. And anywhere any of them go, they are at the top. We've seen this Randy Weatherford, PRA Normal, and Scott Lang go win 125 grand up in Michigan, then go to Rockingham and win that too. Anywhere these guys go, they're just tough. So
yeah,
the list
they
goes
are.
on and on.
And the fun part is that they're going to combine them all for Drag Illustrated Winter Series this winter in Bradenton, where if you win all 3, you get $1 million.
Mm-hmm. But that's tough in itself, because there's going to be north of 80 cars there. So
yeah, some pretty good news, I'd say, coming out of NHRA today. Leah Pruitt's going to be back behind the wheel for Tony Stewart Nitro next year.
Yeah.
I thought it was a given to begin with, but I guess this is the official announcement.
It was a given. I think it was more or less just give it time to be announced. And like Leah posted a video today speaking on, they didn't want to jump the gun. They wanted to wait till after Indy and do it right. And Tony is not going to be out of a car.
No,
he'll be in a car. What
I think
class it'll be in?
I think he's going pro stock.
If it leads that way, I wouldn't be surprised. But who knows? I mean, there's always people looking for fuel cars for that opportunity, and I guess we'll have to see. I mean, Leah getting back in the top fuel car doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, she kept her license current at Virginia when they did some testing there, so it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that she's going to be back in the fuel car next year.
Yeah.
So,
man, what about Brittany Force breaking? Was it Brittany? It is Brittany, right? That broke the speed record.
Again, yes.
Yeah, again. Emphasis on the again.
Yeah, it is utterly insane that years ago we were talking about, breaking 330, and now they said, oh, can we maybe get 340? And now it's becoming a common occurrence. And the next question is, where does it stop? Where is the limit? Because
345?
Maybe it's achievable, but is it realistic for a tuner and the conditions right? It's hard to say.
Yeah,
we've seen it many times where guys are on stellar runs, but they just come loose late in the track, and it's not like it's anything that the tune-up had. It's the track conditions themselves, or the tire gives way, or something like that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's just give it time, but I don't know if they want to go any faster, because then you're taking away your consistency.
Yeah, exactly. And then, man, IHRA is at the center of another story, it seems like. I saw an article come out today to be keeping an eye on the IHRA having an announcement today. No announcement came down, but apparently the track that they have been linked to this time is Virginia Motorsports Park, and in turn, that kind of links them by default to PDRA as well. I
Yeah.
don't I don't you and I have talked about it, how we don't like it, and the whole reason I don't is because that eliminates an association where guys have options to go, in my opinion.
Again, I think it's more or less just to give it time statement. We've seen it at first. Obviously, IHRA in the early beginnings was not necessarily jumping the gun, but they were moving at a very quick and rapid rate where nothing was certain. Buying tracks and is spending money, investing in the sport at such a rate that nobody knew if it was real or not. And if it is come to truth that they want to purchase Virginia Motorsports Park, I'll be curious to see where it goes, because obviously Tommy and Judy Franklin, with their involvement in being, running the PDRA and their history of NHRA over the years, what happens now with a potential of change in ownership? Does the PDRA leave? Do they have more events with that track? Obviously, if IHRA wants to purchase it, there's going to be an IHRA event there, or is there going to be two? I guess it's more or less just to play the waiting game. We wondered what was going to happen with Virginia, especially with them not being on the 2026 schedule for the Mission Foods Drag Racing Series NHRA. But like it should be said, right now it's just speculation. So nothing is in stone yet, but there's obviously a lot of moving components going forward.
Yeah, and where there's been smoke, there's typically fire. I guess that's kind of how I'm taking that.
Yeah. Or at least a spark trying to light that fire.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we also want to just take a little bit in the show to announce some of the events that we're going to be at. Wyatt, you're obviously going to Enderley.
Possibly. I have not made that full commitment yet, depending on schedule. So there's a good possibility, yes, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, then after that, I think we're going to have a little time off after that, as far as going to the motorsports events goes. I've got one more pull, the 20th in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee with Mid-South again to finish off our season. But then it's October time, and we are heading to Weeklands there at Horsepower Hill with Pull Off Productions and their great fall event, the Make-A-Wish Pull. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to them. We have been talking to them, and their event is going to be huge, especially with the anticipated extra vehicles since Canfield, Ohio got postponed with USA East now. So I was talking to Mr. Weekland, and he said expect a high number in most of the classes.
Yeah, and obviously with the traction that Mike has gotten with that event and that location, especially with the fall event the past couple of years, I wouldn't suspect there'd be small numbers in any classes really. And like we said before, with Nashville having the light limiteds, I would not expect a light pro stock class to be small, or a Rowan Brun class with guys wanting to get extra runs on or running against guys that haven't ran before. So
I'll put it this way: I know Van Haley's going,
and that doesn't surprise me. They've been to that track before.
There's been scuttle of Kellogg and Trump going as well,
which is a very good possibility. I mean, the man that just won a Grand National title, so
yeah. So that's going to be a great event. That's actually one of the classes. You named the two classes I'm looking forward to the most, and then of course they've got their 3.0s out there. The light pros, and I think they're running the 4.1s with them. At least one night,
possibly. But do they also consider that limited pro class just whatever they call limited pro out there?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of specifies 4.1 on the flyer. That's the only reason I say that. But it's going to be a great night. It is one track, and from what Mike had told me before, he may move the starting times up in anticipation of the bigger numbers. So be on the lookout for that going forward. And then Friday, we have got a very special announcement video coming to you from the man of the Midwest Winter Nationals himself, Mr. Clint Tucker. That video will be live for us on our Facebook page at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 Eastern, in regards to what's going to be going on this winter with all the polls going on and what classes are going to be taking place and all that. So be on the lookout for that on Friday. It is a video. It's going to be audio only. There's no actual video footage of it. So make sure you stay tuned for that, but do not miss that because there's a whole lot of detail in that one.
Yeah, we've already seen on either pull off or Facebook posts from different people out there asking about where location is, what are the details, and it should at least answer some. But information with Clint is always to come, and man will always deliver. So,
definitely. I'm winding down on our topics here. Eldora World 100 was this past weekend as well.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but this weekend, besides NHRA, seemed to have a lot of different motorsports going on.
Yeah, it did as a whole.
I mean, there was a lot of polling going on. There was, the World 100 is the biggest race of the year for dirt track. You have IHRA had their event in Hebron, Ohio. There's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, the World 100, biggest, obviously, they call it the biggest race of the year. And Tony Stewart had announced this at Eldora. It was one of their first sellouts ever at Eldora. And that just speaks to where dirt track racing is right now with popularity as well as engagement. And the racing didn't disappoint either. Was not able to catch Saturday with us being in Sandwich, but Thursday and Friday I was able to watch. And the first 2 nights, obviously great racing. They have so many cars there, just like the Winter Series. They had to split the field in 2 different fields, run 2 different features. And you're going to have that with 100 cars. But did you happen to catch any of it?
No, I didn't, man. I saw some, but not all. I think I saw who won it.
So I did catch who won the final, but on the first 2 nights they had
that was all
2
I
features.
saw.
The first 2 features were the same winners both nights. The first feature was won by Mac Daddy Dale McDowell, the man that says he's going to retire all the time, just like Rick Peters. And then the second, the second one.
Kudos to you, sir. I'll give you that one. That was a nice one.
And then the second one was won by Superman Jonathan Davenport. They won the first 2 features both nights in a row.
Yep.
Good little payday for both those guys. And Davenport just dominates that track usually. Has a lot of success there. And McDowell, man's been around forever and really knows how to drive. But Saturday night, I had to catch up on this one. And Ricky Thornton Jr., the man out of Kohler Motorsports, ended up winning the World 100 Saturday finale
again, or winning it.
The man,
winning as a whole.
Yeah, that series or that type of racing is so competitive that anybody can win. And the 50-50 to add to that type of pressure is just insane too. I know Andy Gerboss said that Eldora is some of the best racing he's ever witnessed ever, and you got to try and make it there one day. And just by watching that on Flow Racing, he's right. That racing is really good. I can't imagine what it's like there in person with every corner, every turn of that place just full of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. We forgot to mention one event. It's one of OSTPA's biggest pulls of the year there at Dragway 42. They're winding down their season. September 13th, going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. Light limited pros, mini rods. Man, OSTPA's had a great first year for mini rods, in my opinion. Pro stock semis, modified tractors, 2-wheel drive trucks, and super stock diesel trucks. Yeah, so that's one of their last ones winding down. That one just popped up on my feed. I can't believe we forgot that one, especially since he watches our show, right?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Kyle, but yeah, Dragon 42. It's one of those facilities that hosts quite a few different events throughout the year, whether it's drag racing, polling, or anything even different. But yeah, it's a great. I think it's a great place to have sort of like a finale for the OSTPA circuit. You're right there in the hotbed of Ohio, kind of centralized where you can get everybody from in between running any class really, and any association really, because Jeff Hurd will come down and he's running the Grand National circuit. Ken Venny can make an appearance. Um, anything and everything can happen there, and it's a great facility. Usually some really really good competition, and like we were speaking, first year mini rods, um,
Mhm.
especially with a tight points race too. Heading into the final hooks of the season, it's gonna be really cool to watch that.
Yeah, I love it, and I always said for a long time that that was how it needed to be. Then I mean, there's just so many of them in Ohio, so why would you not have them, right? It's kind of
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
and it's crazy. The amount of people adding a mini rod to their stable, and the more people we
Yeah,
hear of
man, you're
adding one,
telling me.
it's crazy. I mean, every day we're like, "Oh, this guy's building mini rod. Holy cow! Wait, he's building one too, or she's building one too." It's like,
Are
does
mini rods
modern
kind of
or
becoming the pro mods of the drag racing where it seems like everybody's getting one?
yeah, but there's no parity because they're all 1471 blow motors.
Yeah, well,
We'll have to see, but yeah, it's a very competitive class with a lot of different manufacturers and engine manufacturers and such. And I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially if it's easy to move, where you only need like one person to push around. I mean, why not have one?
Yeah,
So
exactly right. Speaking of pro mods though, we didn't mention this guy finally getting his pro mod out and taking it for a spin. Peter Norton's got his out.
hmm
That was
yep.
posted to the Team Shelton Facebook page. I don't know if they were there with him, kind of walking him through everything, but it looks like he's getting fitted in, geared up, ready to go. Do we see the invite going down to Bradenton this winter? Maybe.
Hard, maybe. Obviously, if you haven't watched already, go back and watch our interview with Peter Norton. He did mention this. That is the old David Tuxedo, out of control, I believe. The lightning yellow Firebird Pro Mod that was campaigned out of the Northeast Outlaw Pro Mods Association.
Yep.
And Peter had contacted them through Slemmies and purchased that. And Slemmies and G-Force race cars have been working on that thing tirelessly to get that thing out. And to see Peter out working on it, testing it, and getting in that pro mod game is pretty dang cool because that man can wheel just about anything.
Yeah, so now the other thing I wanted to look at was like how he actually did. I didn't check it. He was with the Midwest series.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a time on there or what. I had not seen any, time slips or anything from Peter's run. So we'll have to
No,
text a couple people. So
yeah, I'm checking the Midwest series real quick.
I feel like Nelson's would also
Yeah, I
know
would
that.
feel like they would definitely. We'll post about it sometime soon, I'm sure. Let's see now. We also had Yellow Bullet Nationals going on, and $25,000 to win pro mod race, and your World Series of Pro Mod champ Steve King kind of showing the way again.
That race, the times that were being put up, holy cow!
Yeah, man, it was fast.
I mean, we've seen 353 out of a turbo pro mod. We've seen 354 out of a nitrous pro mod. Steve running down 350s all day long. If you weren't at the U.S. Nationals, you had to be at that race because that was competitive.
Oh, absolutely, it was. It was great to see him back in the winner's circle, though. A lot of people wondered would the what do you call it, the World Series Pro Mod hangover, if that would be a thing.
Yeah, usually I don't know what it is, but if you win the World Series of Pro Mod, you kind of don't have a good season after that. But it
Yeah.
seems that Steve's he did have a little bit of a low, going into the early part of the PDRA season, but it seems like he's picking it right back up, and they're getting that car rolling again. So it's good to see Steve laying it down there, picking up that 25 grand.
Yes, it is. And I checked the Midwest series page, and I don't see anything for this past weekend. So, or yeah, it would have been this past week. So I don't see anything there. We will get to the bottom of that and figure out what's going on with that, though. What else do you want to add in here, buddy? Where I'm, quite frankly, National Farm Machinery Show predictions are on the horizon because applications have already started hitting mailboxes. I can't believe it's that time of the year again. This is never you and I get our worst headaches whenever we're doing this stuff, is looking at all these numbers and who's doing what, where, and when, and how, and finding where people run.
Yeah. I feel like this year is going to be a little more difficult than years past because
It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad.
We had, because in certain classes like two-wheel drives, we had such a shortened season on the NTPA circuit. It's hard to say what they'll take out of there because who applies. If there's any, like last year, we really didn't know the Nelsons were not going to apply. Do they go back to it this year?
Dear Lord, that threw a. Yeah, that was our war. That was the one that got us so bad last year. You and I were talking about that yesterday. It was two-wheel drives that threw us so bad.
Because of the mix of who didn't apply and who did. And
because whenever they said none of the Nelsons applied, we were like, oh no.
And it wasn't any like, oh, they don't like the show. It's just kind of want to take that year off.
Family, man. They took some time for family. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and there's some teams you just need that break. You need to get caught up on stuff. You need to get stuff done at home. So
yeah,
I got a feeling. I mean, first year you're above 70.
I think we'll see one, if not two.
I think we'll for sure see two Nelson trucks in there for sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one that's gonna throw me for a loop if I end up doing that class is gonna be modified. Modified is wide open this time.
I think Mod and Light Super is about as wide open as it gets right now.
Light Super, yeah. Because I mean that was a little bit of an odd mixture. Here's the thing though, you remember Evening Thunder won Mid-South points last year? He's not winning Mid-South points this year. He hadn't made all the hooks.
Well, then you go to Martin Daniels tractors. Martin has not been able to get out as much this year.
Haugs won the PPL points. Haugs, I don't think, apply to Farm Show.
Haugs don't apply to Farm Show. Look at Superstock Open.
Whitworth
may not apply again. More than likely won't. Look at Superstock Open.
Have we figured out if they're going to or not?
I've figured out one that is not applying that has won a title.
Oh, no. Really?
Yes. It's nothing against the show. It is just because of time and work. So,
wow. Okay.
We'll have to. It's Farm Show this year is going to be a little bit of a kicker. I don't think
Pro is going to be a complete headache because I found out that the Indiana Pulling League, they're number one, number two tractors in points. They're not going to go because that's whenever they do all their dyno work for their customers and all that stuff.
So I think just for those, stay tuned. We're going to have predictions out. It's just going to take us a while.
Yeah, it's going to take forever. Yeah, four-wheel drives will be a tough one, as always, because you don't ever know. Modifieds are going to throw us. Super farms are going to look different this year. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The guys that normally have ran the full tour in years past didn't run the full tours this year. So does that open up the door to go out to some of these other places? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, just looking on our series, Brad Hart, one of those in the past that's been there, did not run the series this year. Dave didn't run the series this year. Steve Yagi stopped running after Rockwell, just ran local stuff.
Yeah.
So how does that change the whole entire spectrum? Who in the top applies? Who doesn't apply?
Yeah. Super stock as a whole, yeah, okay. Good luck.
This year, I'm telling you right now, this year's gonna be a mess.
I know
It's gonna be
one
a,
super
it's
stock
gonna be a
diesel that
mess.
is not applying because they did not, they're just not because they broke at the last hook, I think.
Hmm. We'll see. It's gonna take. We're definitely gonna have to do our research and our homework
Yeah,
on this one.
well, I think the first couple of times we did it, we kind of hit it at a good time because we were kind of in a groove. We knew who was going to be running what, when, and where. It goes back to that argument that we had, or not even the argument, the discussion that we had towards the beginning of the year, dude. The point, people running points. How much does Farley factor into people getting in too?
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it applies much to forward drive because of the point standings that Rob Foster's in
Yeah.
as much it does apply to. All right, Dean. Dean did not win region, but that man has been so good.
Oh, yeah. See, now that's one right there by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oof.
And then Superside Diesel Truck. All right,
Um,
Eric Stacy's the top one of the top contenders in the country in that class. I don't know. I don't remember the last time that Eric was in Farm Show because he just hasn't gone.
yeah.
That'd
I've
be a
got
good
a
question.
theory that there's a reason why they've been testing out the Cummins Killer 2 motor with the single charger. I've got a theory
Very,
behind that.
very
I
possible.
think you could see that motor go into Cummins Killer 3 chassis and then run that motor at Farm Show because what won Farm Show this past year was a single turbo.
Actually, it's one of the last, 2 of the last 3 years in the
Yeah.
singles.
So is that something that they were playing around with, but just on a different chassis? Maybe.
The question is, does that exact engine fit in the rails? Because you're taking a truck chassis compared to a tube frame.
I bet it. Yeah, I bet you it will.
But who's to say that platform
That's a theory,
on the
though. You've got to
Mhm,
admit that's a good theory.
and who's to say that triple charger just doesn't get brought down to a single for that show? Who knows? We don't.
Yeah,
At
there's
this time,
that.
we don't. So
Yeah. So now this is the fun part of what we do, man. Do we see any class changes this year? I guess that's going to be another thing we're kind of waiting on too.
there's been discussion. I know there's been discussion.
We don't know what.
We
We
don't
have
know
no
what,
idea.
but we've heard rumors and
Yeah.
scuttlebutt and this and
Whatever
that.
you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. We've heard it. So,
I'm
give it
just trying
time.
to. I don't know, man. How many the amount of rookies I think that we could see this year would be a lot of fun.
I think you know where the rookies apply. I think
Yeah.
the rookies apply to superstar diesel trucks.
Really?
You know where I see that? I see that in a Trip Hazley. I see it in a Trenton Ingram. I see
Oh,
that
so
in
you're saying the trucks maybe stay, but the drivers change.
add Marshall DeBro in there.
What about Lee?
It's a very good possibility. The way that the Lee trucks have ran, and I would not be surprised. I feel
No.
like that could be a class where this year that is a whole entire mix-up of different
yeah.
trucks. Well, at least different drivers, not much less trucks. So
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do we see does Trump go back? Since he won the title in this, it's really and truly the first time he's ran a full tilt like he did this year.
that'd be a really good question to ask at the end of the pull off.
I'm not going to make it, are you?
We'll see. That is to be determined.
Yeah, but guys, this is just some of the things that we've got planned. We've got some really big and unique and different shows coming at you. There's going to be a Legends night. I will tell you guys that up front. There will be at least one Legends night this year, and I say Legends plural because I think we're going to try to throw 3 of them together and just let them tell their stories from whenever they were all together. So stay tuned for that one. We're leaning towards going to at least one race in the Drag Illustrated series, so we're going to be having a lot of drag racing coverage this winter. For sure. But until episode number 56, what's the date on that one? That would be Be the 23rd.
Yeah, roughly that. Yeah, probably 23rd.
Yeah.
That range.
But until then, you guys, another thing I always like to make sure of this time of year, make sure you watch out for farm equipment on the road. It's getting to be that time of the year. I always say that in June and September because I know it's just a thing that's real that you guys have to watch out for. Pay attention. To all of our farmers out there that listen to us, be safe. Once you going home to your families every night. So until then, we will see you guys for episode number 56.
See ya.